taking a risk, leaving a career that I was enjoying to do something with my friend, also a risk, and I failed. The company was gone 6 months after I arrived, and that was really a turning point for me to both realize that failure doesn't have to be an ending, it can just be a beginning if you take the lessons forward, and persistence is the art of continuing to get back up. And I think that's the number one difference between people who can realize their vision and those who struggle. And so just taking the risk on yourself is the number one thing, and understanding that one failure is a lesson and it's not going to end your journey.
Yeah, I think when I first started, success was either day by day or year by year, and certainly measured by dollars and cents and in titles. Where I am, being able to see the literal skyline changing here in Detroit with what we're doing is just so rewarding, and it really makes the days and weeks that are hard that much easier. So that really, at the end of every day is what helps define success.
Although 15 years has gone by, it's just incredible to see how that journey's transpired, and how along, every single step, I realized that, maybe I got a job 5 minutes too early, but it wasn't 5 years too early. And so that was, in hindsight, I'm like, man, I don't know what the powers are that be, right? But clearly there was a plan beyond my own intellect. If there's something that I would want to be remembered for, or that I would want our company to be remembered for, it's this sense of, we always figured out a way. We always brought value to our clients. And it wasn't just one person. It's the ability of one person's to affect a multitude, right? I think that's probably what I would like to be known for.
I've made a lot of bad choices in my life, especially in my 20s. And I think when you become very intentional and realize that success is just a series of very small choices that add up to bigger things, it becomes a lot more simple. So just every day making the right decisions, being present for those choices, being intentional will eventually get you to where you want to be.
I still remember going through my master's degree, crying on my bedroom floor, thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this, and it's really hard. My husband came in and said to me, of course it's hard. They don't give, master's degrees to everyone. And honestly, that moment that felt like it was defeat, and the words that my husband said really changed the way that I thought about life in general. And that hard doesn't mean impossible. My family is 100% everything I do. I want to show up for my daughter, show her the person you can be, that it's okay to take space in the room, but also be compassionate and be a mom and do everything that you want to do. And you can do that still as a working mom and being a leader in the community.
Nine years into my tenure at Healthcare REIT, George retired and management turned over, and the company began going in a different direction. As someone who never saw myself, jumping ship or leaving that company, I was forced to kind of make a decision of, do I, stay there, go about business in a way that is different than how I'm wired, or do I take a risk and do something different? That was a very uncomfortable spot for me to be in. What I had been doing over the years, the brand that I had built actually resonated with other people, allowed me to, not only grow my other career, but also to help others, grow their career as well.
My dad worked 30 years on the assembly line in an automotive factory. I remember him growing up, coming home exhausted and saying, Ashley, go to college, so you don't have to work in automotive. But, life has kind of a sense of humor, right? Today, my job is to bring funding into the state of Michigan to make sure we have strong, resilient supply chains like automotive. But really what matters to me most is that we're making an impact on people and supporting people that build things to power our economy, just like my dad did. They work for strong companies, they live in resilient communities, and they have good paying jobs. So, I always say, sorry, Dad, I still ended up in automotive.
The work that I do is very alternative, let's say. I don't expect everybody to take to it. What I'd like for people to know is that I was somebody that proved that you can do things a little differently. I've only built 30 apartments, but I planted 1,000 trees. Again, not an altruist. I'm just hoping that eventually people will see, wow, that guy was onto something and he made that place beautiful, and now it's one of the most successful neighborhoods in the country. And I'm hoping that the rest of my industry, instead of building 200 apartments and planting 8 trees, looks at it the way I have looked at it and plants 8 apartments, builds 8 apartments and plants 200 trees, seeing the value in that.
The biggest impact that we make is tied to the mission of the business. So the mission of the company is to divert waste from landfill. And so the biggest impact is diverting millions of pounds of waste from local landfills annually, and knowing that it means cleaner air and better soil and water for communities. This chapter in my life is about peace. I know that's not very business oriented, but I've just finished my doctorate. I've been in school for my entire life. So as much as there are many other business milestones that I hope to achieve, I want to approach them more strategically and balance my mental health with my work a little bit better.
Culture before everything. Having a positive mindset, whether it be you personally or the team, can make a huge difference. It's one of the things that I look for when we hire people, when we work with people, is how do you work as a team? And so as I go into something I want to accomplish, I'm always going to be a net contributor to that energy. Always be humble and always be learning, recognizing that we still have a long way to go.
I'd say campaigning for the job I currently have required public speaking and kind of self-promotion in a way that wasn't natural for me. It didn't make me feel particularly comfortable, but it was a job I really wanted, so I pushed myself through places that, discomfort and things that may not be what I would seek out, and I'm really glad I did it. So I think it worked out in the end just from the result. I'd love to be remembered as a thoughtful judge who wrote opinions that people enjoyed reading and also was fair, that seemed balanced and to follow the law. Someone that you'd be excited if you saw on a panel at the Court of Appeals because you knew that you were going to get a fair shake.
My company started in 1964. My grandfather came here from San Marino, so it's a Republic from Italy. And then my father and my uncle took it over from there, and now my brother and I have stepped in. We do a lot of work in Detroit, Metro Detroit area. It's a great feeling to be a part of watching the city, kind of evolve into something great.
I'm super grateful to be here, especially knowing that I am one of several people who were nominated for this role. I feel like sometimes in the technology space, there aren't as many women. At a very young age, that felt challenging for me to feel like I was in a male-dominated industry. However, I feel like I overcame that and really just would be present in a room and use my voice to the best of my ability, and I feel like that's helped me to get where I am today. Just count on yourself and know that if you're pursuing something that you're incredibly passionate about, that you love, that motivates you, that's gonna get you where you wanna be.
If I put this energy in what I actually wanna do, I wonder where it could take me. And from that point on, I was all in. I didn't know if it was gonna work for me. I just knew that I had to play my part and trust the process of my diligence. This chapter of my life is about refinement. Refinement means when you start something, you're making mistakes. But now in refinement, now you're learning from those mistakes and okay, how can I polish certain things? How can I polish different systems? So that's the level of mastery.
My first entrepreneurial experience started when I was about 10 years old, living in my birth country, Albania. Life there was modest and we didn't have any after-school activities. So one day, I decided to organize a talent show with the neighborhood kids. For me, it was about creating something, bringing people together and realizing that even as a kid, your ideas can become reality. My advice to you is believe in your vision and start now. Don't wait until everything is perfect.